half a day to a select number of their financial advisors. And each one has about 100, 150 clients, of which, say, 30% are people in their 50 to 70. Once you do it to them and we prime it and we get them interested, we'll then offer it to a select number of their clients and take it step by step. If these guys are gagging at it, which I think they will, he said, then we're on to something.
You sure are.
So, I don't know. Hi, Lindsay.
How are you, George?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you doing? I'm with the 18.
You look beautifully spring-like today, my friend.
Oh, good. Because it's a gray day. So I was hoping
it's a very gray day. But hey,
that to be washed out.
You look fabulous.
Well, thank you. You both do as well.
Susan is joining us, but she's going to be here in about 10 minutes.
Okay, that's fine. Lindsay, just to update you, I had a meeting today with one of the top, I don't know what you call them in Canada, financial advisors. It's a financial advisory firm here in London. And the firm, actually, I invest my monies with them. And so I got my guy to say to his managing partner, can I come in and do a pitch?
Oh.
And he had come to my book launch in October and he loved what I said. So he was happy with me having what was originally a half an hour meeting ended up being 1 hour. And the result was, I mean, next to miraculous for me, because the managing partner suggested that he said, you know, some of our financial advisors are still blockheads. You know, they're old school.
Yeah.
They don't like new stuff.
Uh-oh.
Go for the people who are more progressive. And he said, I want you to pitch to them your one-day workshop in half a day, because time is money.
Right.
And he said, if you can get them excited about what you're doing for their clients, and he said, you might actually excite them personally themselves, then each of them has about 150 clients.
Oh, wow.
And if they just introduce you to a select number as a trial, so you do a full day workshop for a select number of these clients, you could be onto a winner, not just for yourself, but for us, because we're providing now an extra service for them. So I'm really excited, and somehow I think our talk today might veer in a different direction to what I had anticipated.
Okay, we can do that.
That's totally great.
I worked on the, and I'll wait for Susan to join us, but I filled in the ideal client worksheet for Susan, and this is going directly to the client. And I'm wondering whether the client shouldn't be accessed through financial advisors, because then you're getting people who have not just some monies to spend, but they also have some serious thinking to do about changing their mindset.
Very much so.
You know, and so when it comes to the social media end, should we, and this is something for us to discuss today, should we be targeting financial advisors to say, look at the value we're going to provide to you and your clients? The way I sold it to them today, I hate this thing that I'm talking without Susan being here, because I'm going to have to repeat it.
She wanted to just have chit-chat, so...
Sorry, come again?
George,
well, we'll be chit-chatting until
okay.
But yeah, no, it's okay.
So I'm kind of really excited, but before doing this, I wanted to pick your brain, Lindsay.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts from what you've seen and read from the material I sent you?
Right.
I'd like to hear your brains. Leave this aside for now, because I'm sure you've thought about certain things, and I'd like to hear both your opinions.
Okay. Yeah, so it's long and complicated. Where to start? So first of all, Jonathan and I were talking about your voice being an asset for you, whether you use it in audio files that go on your website, or we even look at reproducing some of the audio that you've done in your videos and use them as a podcast series. I'd want to really look at the demographic that you're trying to hit to make sure that that's the right demographic. But that could be really interesting, a different way of being discovered. And then becoming a guest on podcasts. Yeah.
I like what I'm hearing, because a lot of people tell me my voice is my asset.
Magical.
Yeah, I think so.
I haven't exploited or explored that in any way. I've gone always the video, the visual way.
Mm-hmm.
And I do actually now wonder whether actually what you're saying, you've hit the hammer on the head.
Yeah.
It might be audio may be the way to get through to people for me.
And that's how most people consume content now.
Particularly in North America with all the driving you guys do there. So yeah,
even walking and going to the gym. I mean, I consumed Marketing Rebellion in 1 drive and 3 walks.
Okay.
Speaking of which,
Yeah.
I know you showed me that. Yeah.
I can remember. Yeah.
He did a genius book launch. I really wanted to go back.
So I want to show you. I've got a new PowerPoint presentation that nobody's seen yet, because I'm doing it for an event in 2 weeks' time. Well, the event in. Here we go.
I have other thoughts too, George. Just to let you know.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. So I just.
We have plenty of time. I'm so excited to hear it, because just that first one was
resonant.
So this is digital influence for you, right? I talk a lot about return on interaction. Come on.
Yes.
And how that return on investment becomes return on interaction.
Yeah.
So I tried it with Mark Schaefer, who Lindsay and I know tiny bit.
Mm-hmm.
But this was after the conference. And look at this. This is all Mark Schaefer liking my stuff. So I totally got on his radar in this strategy that I employed.
Mm-hmm.
So, when you get one of the biggest consultants in the world coming in on look at that. I mean, he likes everything I write about him. So,
yeah.
There's a strategy there in getting to know people, but just segue. But yeah.
Well, and the next step to that is that Mark calls out people that he gets to know, whether they're his blog readers, or so that connection can move into, maybe we send a guest post to Mark's blog, or right. It's not just the getting in front of Mark. That's the benefit. It's what turns into a relationship.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we're doing this deliberately because he's your ideal client. I mean, he's a little older than me. I'm not sure how old Mark is, but I know he's not 60 yet, but somewhere there. So if we could, these are all the kind of people that he showcases in books and stuff. And these are all the kind of people that we want to get you on their radar as an emerging thought leader in a space that is not populated right now.
Right.
Another thing I noticed about your work that you might think about, because I've noticed this with other people who've come through the Bob Proctor channels, and I know you're not devoted to him, but I also see your background in journalism. In the chapter that you sent about gratitude, I see you quoting a lot of other people and sources. It's very backed up with details and data from a wider community. And what we'd like to do in social media and blogging and all of that is get into your story and why it created this need, like your conflict more and less of quoting others, because there's infinite number of quotes on social media right now. So some of the pieces that you've already got, we need more George to show up in them.
Right. No, I get what you're saying. And yeah, the reason quote, because in the one-day workshop, many of these thoughts are never totally original anyway. But what they do is they're like kind of stepping stones when you're trying to get people to change their ideas. You're trying to explain how. And I'm just trying to think.
I wonder if it's even that you say this one quote we've all heard, this is how it showed up in my world or how it impacted my path.
Yeah.
And we slow down on and just take it one piece at a time.
Yes. No, that's I get that. I get that. Did you get a chance to read my book? Although I know most people don't read anymore. The audio's coming out soon. But did you get a chance to see it all or not?
No, but that's a really great idea.
No. I actually I should send you the audio. Did I not send the audio, Jonathan?
You sent us chapter 6.
Yeah,
that's what it is. I'm going to send you the audio, but that's just for you guys and keep it in house.
Yes, you just did that at the end of March, didn't you?
Yeah, but I'm going to have to send you the entire audio. I'll retransfer it to you so that you'll get the whole thing.
Fantastic.
And it's probably a lot easier. I've actually read it, so Lindsay's going to have a field day with that. I was looking at somebody else to read the book for me, and the guy who was recording me said, "You've got a great voice. You have a great radio voice." So I did it, and although people have said this to me many times, I've not I found it difficult to accept that my voice is the only thing.
No. There's a lot. I was just looking to see where my copy of Napoleon Hill's book is. I have another bookcase downstairs. I've just texted Susan like, "Hurry up! We don't want to start without you." So here's a couple of tenets that I binged George last night. You probably saw by how many billion notifications of everything I liked of yours on YouTube and whatever. But there's 3 things that totally stick out for me. First of all, your ability to translate what Napoleon Hill wrote about Carnegie and so on, pretty much 100 years ago. So to me, I'm almost wanting to pitch you as today's Napoleon Hill, in so much as you've looked at the Edisons and the Fords and the Carnegies, but you've also looked at the Gates and the Jobs and the Alan Sugars of the world. And you've got a very good perspective of the marketplaces and the Xerox companies and where they are today. And I think there is an absolute need for a rewrite. And I got the latest version of Think and Grow Rich, and it does talk about some of the more modern companies a little bit. But you have an understanding, and because of your British wisdom, people just assume that you know what you're talking about. And you do.
And the evil actors in films, right?
Yeah, we better listen to you.
Between you and Chris.
Always put evil actors in American movies have to have a British accent.
Well, look at Christopher Lee. I mean, the guy was just quintessentially classic English actor, but wow, he made the best Saruman in Lord of the Rings for sure. But so I think I want to come from it and because everybody knows that book. Almost everybody has read. Well, anybody's got the 7% or the 3% of people who you talk about who actually think. 3% think, 7% think they think, and the rest, whatever. That's a pretty cutting statement. But anyway, let's just go for that 10%, whether they think or not. So I'd like you to be the 21st century's version of Napoleon Hill wisdom. And then there's 2 things that you kept saying about, first of all, about as carbon is to steel, as this message is to men. That is so powerful.
That's a Napoleon Hill quote too.
It is. But the way you
it is. It's a Napoleon.
The way you say it just makes it lively, because so much is made of carbon fiber these days, and there's a whole new use of carbon. So that piece, and then the other piece that you talked about almost every time with the spirit of gratitude is the origin of the word think and thank in
Yeah.
thank, and just how they are totally connected. And you can't think properly unless you're grateful.
Well, I'm actually glad you've picked those three because, and again, Lindsay's going to jump on this immediately. Persistence. That's why I desperately need you folks to listen to the audio. Listen to the audio because it'll tell you a lot about me and about what I'm trying to say. And persistence is actually one of the strongest things because I've been in litigation for 12 years. It's almost coming to an end now.
Yes.
And if I had not read Think and Grow Rich, I would not have known that it is possible to go that far out.
Yes. Yeah, I did
persistent.
I did listen to your 7 points that you did video.
The mastery, right? Yeah.
Now
I used. Sorry, I'm jumping. Persistence is definitely one. The think thank connection, which is linked to gratitude. I've had a lot of people, particularly in the coaching business, go, "Yeah, gratitude is great, but you can't make money out of it." And I go, "It's not about making money. It's about making relationships, you idiot." Money comes afterwards. But these are the sort of hard and tough South African coaches. But I discovered about think and thank, the connection, from Martin Heidegger, the German philosopher.
So I thought he
and
I saw the
he
picture
existed
about him, right? I mean, he's ancient. Oh no.
But the reason that people never quote him is because he was living during the Nazi regime. And even like Pope Benedict, he had to be part of the Hitler Youth because anybody in Germany who wasn't probably was sent to the concentration camp. But the point is that he soon pulled himself away from the Hitler regime and went on his own. But Martin Heidegger was a Catholic theologian, and he was a great researcher, and he researched about the concept of thinking and thanking. And he said, if you're not in a grateful state of mind, you're not thinking straight. And the reason is, if you're not grateful for what you already have, you're always wanting things and never satisfied. So if you're in the state of mind where you're grateful for what you have, for your family, your kids, the roof over your head, all the basic stuff, and you're grateful for that every day, it puts you in the right mindset to have relationships with other people. So when you're working with other people, you're thinking relationships, and that in itself is what grows everything. So it comes back to what you're saying, Lindsay, and Jonathan, you're always talking about relationships, return on interaction. It's all linked into this. So this think, thank, and gratitude is one pillar. Persistence is definitely the other, because even people like Ford and Edison said, if you get the other factors right, which is faith, desire, and planning, and you don't have persistence, you won't make it.
Mm-hmm.
That's what defines the successful people. They persist. And the reason is they cross a Rubicon. They cross a point beyond which they meet their true selves, because the old self dies, as it were, and they discover who they really are. They're forged in fire, if that makes sense. So that's essentially what I'm trying to do. And my focus is on my avatar are people between 50 and 75, people who who've already lived a good part of their lives, and they're moving into the final, or as Carl Jung would say, the afternoon of their lives. Mm-hmm. And you saw that quote about mornings and afternoons by Carl Jung in my slides, mm-hmm. where he talks about what was true in the morning of your life is a lie in the afternoon.
Mm-hmm. You saw that quote. Mm-hmm.
And so you have to change your mindset. And if you don't, you'll wither, because it doesn't matter how big your pension retirement fund, you're not going to be happy. You're just going to go from one bad scene to another. So I'm jumping a little bit, but I want to just take you back and then I'm going to stop talking. The 5 videos that I sent you, which are all interlinked, you probably noticed that I changed the color of my tie. I had to. The reason, you know, people are going to say, like, why are you even talking about global politics and economics and social media and all that stuff? You know, and the managing partner today, asked me that question. And I said to him, well, because I said, most of your clients are highly intelligent people, and they have a worldview of what's going on. They know things have changed so much. They don't know how to react, but they know things have changed and they don't like it. But they don't know what to do about it, and they don't understand it. So I've tried to explain to them why the world has changed so much, and will never go back to what it was before. Mm-hmm. So in a sense, the Trump era is doing that, trying to take us back. And it's just a blip. They're on the wrong side of history. It's, you know, things are moving and they're not going to go back. It's the same with Brexit. It's changing everything. And in fact, I think we're never going to go back to what it was before, but it's going to go into something new and something better. So I'm trying to get them to understand they have no control over anything except themselves.
Yep.
And that's the only thing they can do. And that's why I did those 5 videos. It's 1 hour. And my thoughts to you are, what do I do with this 1 hour video? The managing partner of Tilney said to me, hi, Susan. Sorry. Okay, I'm going to stop here. Jonathan, back to you so you can read.
First of all, I want to memorialize this picture.
Hang on, I'm going to close this. My daughter was doing a project in my craft cupboard.
Okay, so actually, I'm going to open my blind to get the beautiful view of the valley, otherwise.
Are you recording this?
Oh, yeah. Everything's recorded. Yeah. Okay, so big smiles.
I think George is frozen. Oh, not anymore.
Just see if that works. Actually, no, George, I didn't quite get your smile.
Oh, sorry.
Okay. Perfect. Perfect.
Jonathan, are you recording this?
Oh, yes, sir. Yes.
Brilliant, brilliant. Okay.
Right from the get-go. Yeah.
So, Susan, you're going to hear all the heavy stuff we talked about. So
that'll be perfect.
Okay.
Awesome. So we may not all be here for all 3 hours. We just go. I definitely will be. So we'll just see where this goes. But my take on you, George, now that I've binge watched and listened, and the beautiful thing about you able to join the boot camp 6 weeks ago was that we've all gotten to know and love you already, and everybody just says how much they love George. I mean, it's an amazing thing. And I think he froze. Oh, no, you're back. Okay. Every so often you just freeze. I'm not sure
I'm back.
bandwidth-wise, but that's good.
Yeah, I'm getting that.
So obviously we got to know you as the voice of Balcazar through Kim to begin with, and then she told me, you know, the unfortunate situation you'd had with another company, and how we came to that. But I'm just like wiping the slate clean and using the collateral that we have right now, because the biggest thing that stuck out for me yesterday was every time you said, I'm George Jerjian, you never told me who you were. You told me what your name was. So we need to give you an expert title more than anything else. So I'm George Jerjian, your third act recreation specialist, or I'm George Jerjian, the retirement rebel, or what. We need to give you an actual title so people can remember what you do. I mean, they can remember you as a stoic individual, but we have, and I think we could do that today between us, whether it's retirement rebel or whatever that might look like. I'm not sure.
Okay.
Because you need an expert title, and we need to crown you with this expert title. I can give you my replica of the Manx Sword of State if you want.
Oh, amazing.
I'll stub you. I thought when my parents bought me that, I was actually getting a life size, because they said they've just put out a limited edition after 400 years of the Manx Sword of State. I would love one. And then when it came, I spent a lot of money on it. It's made by Wilkinson Sword, but I went, it's a glorified paper opener.
Is it, hang on a second, is it Valerian steel?
Oh, I didn't look. It just says, made by appointment by Wilkinson Sword. But
it looks amazing.
I mean, it is real, but it's
looks like Arya Stark's. It looks like Arya Stark's little
sting.
You Game of Thrones people.
Or Frodo's sting or whatever. Yeah. Anyway, we're going to crown you and give you a title. The second piece, to catch Susan up, I personally think that we could brand George's wisdom as today's version of what Napoleon Hill did for Andrew Carnegie, in terms of assessing the landscape, coming with an academic perspective, but also a business perspective of where things are at, where the smart people are doing the right thing, and where the majority of people are being led like sheep over a hill, and they don't realize they shouldn't even be on a hill, let alone, fall off the end like all the other lemmings. And then the third piece to this too is the gold in your vocal cords and the wisdom that will come over when people start to consume your content via Audible. I mean, you present beautifully in the videos. I mean, there's not a lot of that video that you've made that we can use at this point. Some of it is
the little ones, the short ones.
Do you think sorry, Jonathan, do you think the videos don't come across as natural?
Well,
I think they're a bit stilted.
I mean, last time I wore a tie was July for Gemma's wedding.
I think it's more about the time and the context on social media right now and how they don't fit the expectation.
Yeah, nothing wrong with the content at all, and the delivery is fine. The context is everything for me. And there's one picture of you sitting in like a stone fireplace library, and you've got your suit on, but you're sort of just leaning forward. You know that picture? Oh, we lost you. Oh, you're back. I can find it in Dropbox. There's one picture of you and you're in a chair and you're just kind of leaning forward as to engage someone. To me, that picture said everything because you're leaning into a conversation with someone.
Which one was that in? Was that in the interview?
It's actually in Dropbox in one of the 37 pictures you sent us. I'll find it as I'm talking about it.
Is that the one where I'm sitting down in that sort of multicolored designer room or something?
Yes. It's a phenomenal picture. Because to me,
I thought that looked like Trump. That's the way that Trump sits down when he's talking to the press. Have you not noticed that?
I do, but
Okay, no, but I mean, you're not the only one who likes that. Other people have said they like that, and I was questioning it. So it's good to hear that you like it.
This is the one I'm thinking of. This one.
Yeah, I knew it. Okay.
Because to me, it's like, okay, I want to tell you something. So just sit and listen. Because there's structure behind there. There's solid stone. There's books. There's wisdom. There's beautiful.
Get it?
I don't know whether this is your front parlor or you're at a hotel or I don't know where this was, but.
This isn't a hotel. So when you come to London, I'll take you there. We'll go there for breakfast. It's a brilliant hotel. This designer is incredible. And that room is a library. And I have an addiction to libraries.
Yes.
So, yeah.
And there's a lovely picture of you on a ladder holding a book. I mean, all of those pictures of you, that's exactly who George is, Dress pants, white shirt, undone, tie off, end of the day. Got it.
Okay. Gotcha.
And the purpose of videos and social media is to create that intimacy, that connection, right? That person-to-person relationship. So when you do something that's more corporate, like you're standing at the front of the room with a presenting board, that's not creating that relationship that we're after. It's
positioning you as an expert, but it's not building the rapport.
Right. Well, here's my suggestion. Sorry, go on.
I was going to say, I have seen one picture of you and your wife and one picture of your two daughters.
Right. Yeah. My wife is so private. She doesn't have a Facebook page. She refused. My kids have, and I will get a few pictures in.
Because
I will work on that. Okay, let me chisel away.
That's who you are. I mean, you've been married a long time. I don't know how old your children are now. Actually.
30 and 28. One's an artist, and the other one's a singer-songwriter.
Wow.
And they're still living at home. Okay, they can't afford to leave.
Well, yeah, my eldest daughter has left. My two younger ones, the middle one went but came back, and my youngest one told us at the weekend, she said, by the time I'm 25, I'm going to have my own place. She said, I've worked it out, I know how to do it. And I'm like,
well, my two daughters left for uni, both left for uni 4 years, and they came back. But my younger one does a lot of traveling. So when she's not traveling, she wants to be home.
And it's cheaper.
And, you know, cooking, cleaning, yeah. Well, there you go.
But these are,
yeah.
You know how we talked about family and everything and volunteering. I mean, these are all things that...
Oh, that one, I'm still reeling from Susan's suggestion because, yeah, that kind of opened my eyes.
What's the suggestion?
The suggestion that Susan made about when she talked about her volunteering in her thing, that kind of like, I went, whoa, I never talk about mine.
Kind of like I went when Jonathan introduced his family in his presentation.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, whoa, people don't do that. And you should, because it's part of you. So yeah, I totally get that. I'm sorry, I just wanted to say, I agree with what you're saying, Jonathan, about those videos. And I think we won't use that. However, for the those high net worth individuals
yes.
In London, for them, I think that will work because, but as you say, for the for online stuff, I totally agree. I think you're right. I need to be casual. I think I'm sexy when I'm casual, so I'm good.
Can I jump in here for a second?
Yes,
I watched some of your videos and your PowerPoint.
You froze. Sorry.
Oh, am I back?
Yes, you're back. You're back.
I watched some of your videos in the PowerPoint, and then the photo that Jonathan was sharing, where the one that you said looks like Donald Trump or whatever. And I looked at it, and I mean, the impression I get is that it's very British, right? Like I feel like I'm watching someone introducing me to Masterpiece Theatre, right? Which I don't think is a bad thing. Like, I really do think that your audience could very well be drawn to that persona. I mean, that is who you are, right? You come across as being very, like, I've been there, I've done that. You come across as a gentleman who's had a big successful career, and that retirement threw you for a loop. It's like my mom used to always say about my dad, who now has been retired for 25 years. He was retired at the age of 54 by the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation. She used to always say, well, your father had a plan he planned to retire, but he didn't have a plan for retirement. Right?
Well, it's true.
And then, so I just have all this stuff jumbled up in my head right now. I mean, it comes out on paper in a logical way because I can go back and edit.
That's what you speak your mind.
The other piece here is your passion for all of your volunteer work and the different activities you do. And that is a huge key to me about what's keeping you going in retirement and what will keep anyone go, right? Like having a window into what those things are that you love to do in your spare time that give you purpose outside of your workplace. How does that translate into retirement? To me, that's a huge clue and be able to help people. But the first video of the series that you created that were a bit longer, like, so not the 1 minute ones, to me it was like, you really set the stage for this has been my experience and I can help you. Like, I just really like how you were connecting with who I believe your ideal audience is. And while they aren't social media friendly, I do think there is potentially a place for that for your audience.
Well, I'm really happy to hear that because I agree with Jonathan and Lindsay's comment that on social media I should be more relaxed, more intimate with my conversations. I totally get that. and that's the road we're going to take. But you didn't hear this, so I'll just say very quickly. I had a meeting today with one of the largest financial services groups in London that do high net worth individuals. In fact, whilst you're online, folks, you might want to type in and just have a quick look at their website, just the front page only. It's called www.tilney.co.uk or .com. Tilney, Tilney.
They have a podcast.
Yes.
Ooh, yes. Like it.
Interesting. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Can you see how many offices they have and how many financial advisors? And I had a meeting with the managing partner, and he said to me, you know, some of our people are old school, and we have progressives too. He said, I want to put you in touch with the progressive advisors. And he said, I even want investment management people in here because we work closely together, hand in glove. So he said, we will have you present your one-day workshop in half a day. Can you do that? I go, yeah, because time is money. Time is money. I can do that. And he said that if we get enough of them that like what you're saying, and this is the 80-slide one-day workshop that goes that 7-step mastery plan, which, by the way, I copied from Leonardo da Vinci's 7 steps.
Wow.
But anyway, he said that if those guys buy what you're saying and they love what you're saying, they think their clients are going to love this, which he said, I suspect they will, then we can then arrange for them to invite a select number of their clients, and they have up to 150 clients each, of which a good 30% are going to be in the 50 to 75 range. Mm-hmm. So if we get 40, 50 people in a room of these people and pitch and give them a one-day workshop, at my normal price was $497 per delegate for that one day. For them, I'm reducing it to $247, and only because they are super warm selected clients. They're perfect for me, and it's not going to cost them anything other than the venue and lunch. And the way I pitched it to them was to say that, sorry, I just wanted to share this with you. I said, you know, preparing all your clients to prepare them financially is not enough today. And Jamie Dimon, this guy, said, technology companies are going to eat our lunch because they're going heavily in there. But, you know, even artificial intelligence can't do what I'm proposing that they do with their clients, which is wake them up into a new reality. That retirement is the afternoon of life and the rules are not the same as in the morning of life. Mm-hmm. So trying to change their mindset and stuff. And so he was really excited about this. Let me rephrase that. When I get these people as my clients, I will offer them those videos as part of the, you know, as a supplemental thing to keep them engaged. And they also want me to do podcasts, and also they have a newsletter they want me to write for that. So I just wanted to share that with you. You can do as one avenue of work, and social media will be a whole different avenue that you and I are going to work together to create.
Yeah.
So back to you. Sorry.
No, love that.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's really great. I mean, I think that you will not have any trouble at all establishing credibility with that group.
Yeah.
Yeah. And in that instance, George, wouldn't they just hire you for a half-day rate to bring in for their client? They wouldn't charge their clients.
No. They're not going to charge their clients, but I'm going to charge their clients. And the reason is, if they get it for free, they won't appreciate it. And who's going to pay me?
Or is this something that the venue, like, so Tilney would be able to hire you. And you just say, okay, this is the service that we're giving our clients, and you charge them higher than 247, but charge them, and they provide it as a service to their clients.
Oh, I charge Tilney?
Yeah.
And how would I, okay, let me just take a step back. I hadn't thought about that.
Just an idea.
No, I know.
That's exactly how I would have said, if they were at the Spa Retreat Center in Bagshot or wherever it was that you were there for the last time. I didn't realize you were in Bagshot. I mean, I drove through that town so many times. Bagshot! I used to say every time I saw the sign, you know?
Bagshot.
Quintessentially English. But yeah, I drove, that was one of my rat runs home. But no, they should hire you for probably a £5,000 fee to deliver this to their premium clients, and they get invited to this very exclusive resort with breakfast pastries and coffee, and then a brunch, and the leather portfolios that they all get given around this table, and then you're the speaker for their private clients. That's how that should play.
Okay, I get that. Here's the thing: if any of them then want a one-to-one coaching, where I'm charging £3,600,
yep,
$5,000 for 8 hours, taking either 8 hourly sessions or a whole day of 8 hours, or 2 half days of 4 hours. How would that work if they're paying $5,000 for the?
So they're paying you as a speaker to represent their brand and bring wisdom to their advisor's strategy. The opportunity at the end of that event is, if anybody is in the room, it's like, man, I could spend a whole day with George myself. I could do some of this for my own personal strategy.
And then they buy separate.
And then
I like that. Yeah.
They might want a referral fee or something. I mean, you have to figure out.
I don't think they would, because they already have the money. They want to keep them as long-term clients. I think they would be happy because you're enhancing their life. So they're happy with Tilney because they wouldn't have known about you unless Tilney brought you into the mix.
Yeah.
Well, and they're asking you to do the newsletter and the podcast and all those bits. So as part of your package, that would be something you'd be more than happy to provide.
Yes.
And suddenly it's more fair.
So you pro bono your services to them in marketing.
Sorry, Lindsay, I missed your comment. Sorry, can you repeat that?
Well, since they're also asking for your contribution to their newsletter and their podcast, then it seems fair that they're paying you for all this time.
Okay. No, that's great. I appreciate that. No, that's really good thinking. Yeah. I'm excited. Carry on.
I think we can bring something to that as well. We're quite good at helping people pull together their messaging for a speech workshop, giving you feedback, helping you with maybe a promotional banner design or worksheet design, and really packaging that up so that the event itself is a complete thing that you have to offer, which can raise the profile and the perceived value.
I need that. Even if I think of it, I just don't have the time to do all this. And also I need brainstorming, because you can't do this on your own. And so I was telling Jonathan that this 4-month package is great because that's going to set me up and everything else. But I am actually looking for continuous support. And that's why the better you know me, the deeper you can help me. And so, yeah, I'm all for this. So, yeah.
No, totally. Yeah. So, and the other thing, Susan, just before you come in, the two pieces that just kept coming out to me, apart from Napoleon Hill reincarnated right here, is
I'm kind of scared. It kind of scares me that you're saying that, because crikey, I'm going to have people like Bob Proctor and Jack Canfield coming saying, "Who the hell does this guy think he is?"
And we can't.
No, they're not. They're going to go, way to go, man. Way to go.
Yeah. Really?
If they're in gratitude, right? They're not comparing. They're not being ego driven.
Well, that's my perspective. I don't want to compare myself to other people. I just want to go in with my own message and my own delivery and my own unique way of expressing.
The only person you're in competition with
is myself.
Yep.
We can't actually
Well,
say fully.
I take heart from how you guys do it. You don't. Sorry.
I'm pretty sure we can't actually say that you're the new Napoleon Hill.
No. I'm not. But from a brand perspective, well, we've got. I'm not. I wouldn't be. We may be in 2 years' time say that, but
that's where we're aiming.
So I just give you an idea. I mean, 9 years ago this week, George, I did my very first meetup. You might have seen a post I did it. So that's how I started this journey of making stuff happen, through a live meetup at a hotel in Langley on a Saturday lunchtime. And my guest speaker was a fellow who just published a book. It's called Sociable. And he talked about digital natives and digital immigrants. I'd never heard this concept before. His name was Shane Gibson. His dad was Bill Gibson, very famous speaker in his time. And Shane was just like the man 9 years ago on social media, like in the world, he was the man. And we managed to get him to be our first guest speaker. And I've been in awe of Shane for years and years. Super great guy. And I wrote him on the weekend because I had this memory, and I screenshot it, sent it. I said, Shane, I can't tell you how grateful I was that in your busy worldwide schedule of speaking that you came to Langley and spoke for us. And grateful, my friend. And then he wrote back to me and said, Jonathan, are you kidding me? I'm grateful that you even wrote me, because he said, I'm following your entrepreneurial journey. And it's like, wow, I wish I could have kept up with that guy. I'm like, are you kidding me? Because everybody else's perception of us is so different.
Yeah.
And our job is to really let you know your potential.
Yeah, you see, up to now, I haven't got that. And the people I've gone to, I don't think have noticed. They've kind of not, they haven't noticed, they've not known how to maneuver me. If that makes sense.
Yes, yes.
And I feel very comfortable that you guys actually know what you're doing. I can see you know what you're doing. So I appreciate
But when you gave me your Facebook login yesterday and I tried to make myself an admin, which I couldn't, of your page, it's like, why can't I make this work? And then I realized that they hadn't made you an admin of your own page. That tells me a lot about their control, because that's totally not what we would do. So they made themselves admin, but not you. So you had no action. You couldn't add anybody else to the page or create an ad campaign or, yeah. So, yes.
I've asked them to give me the information now, so we'll see.
Yeah, because I can be you and I can read it. So I have 2 points. First of all, Susan, the whole think tank piece that George talks about a lot, that the original Old English word, German word, thanken, is fundamental to George's message, because I've never really heard this before until you've talked about it. Because I am very grateful. I mean, most people talk about me because I'm always smiling, because I'm eternally grateful for so many things. And I never thought, well, maybe it's because I have such a positive outlook on life that I can see things differently. Therefore, I think differently. So I think that is a fundamental tenet of who you are. The other piece that George talked about was, as carbon is to steel, as persistence is to success, kind of thing. In fact, paraphrasing that a little bit, but that whole steel carbon thing, and then taking the carbon and making it carbon fiber, which is like the strongest material we're using today rather than the steel of Carnegie's day, just positions me. It's like, this guy understands what it takes to make metal cut through, and it's carbon fiber these days. He understands the brain and how just being grateful is actually a fundamental rite of passage of wisdom. Then we bring in the Napoleon Hill piece. Then I'm starting to think, oh my goodness, we gotta have this guy on the stage. You did that one interview with the blonde lady. I couldn't decide if she was Irish or Australian. She had the funniest. But that was really good. Really good. Because you didn't have a tie on. No, I'm not anti-ties, don't get me wrong.
But I was the whole thing was overexposed though. It was so bad. I mean,
I listened to it. I didn't watch it. So
You didn't, yeah, okay.
I had it playing on YouTube, but you and I walked for an hour and a half together last night.
Awesome. Can I jump in on the tie thing, Jonathan? I want to disagree a little tiny bit on that. Like, I'm just thinking about like George's audience, and if you're looking at where his clients are going to be, I mean, the United States isn't written on this list. Well, no, it is. You've got United States, but you mostly have UK, Canada, Australia, and New Zealand. And from what I understand, like even coming from a part of Canada that's very traditional, like I can totally see George in front of the demographic I'm thinking of, and they all still wear ties. Lived in New Zealand for 6 months. People are wearing ties to work. Australia, they're wearing ties to work. Like it's gotten a lot more casual here, but I don't want to fully ditch the tie because definitely a place for that.
And look at people like Jay Bear who do the bow tie and that's their signature look, or the plaid. So if we want to really do it.
Yeah, no, the tie isn't the issue for me. It's the approachability is a slight issue for me because I don't want that tie to be a barrier, which is why the armchair and the sitting forward and because I know until you didn't put the tie on.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe a tie just means that you're more relaxed. You wear a tie in the day and you don't in the evening, but then you go to a V-neck sweater, which a lot of the videos you were in and so on. I mean, they were very good. So was that the other thing that surprised me, and you mentioned this the very first time we spoke, was how your initial Facebook ad campaigns got people very angry. So I read the hundreds of comments because George got like 50,000 people into this ad campaign on two specific video posts, and the vast majority of people watched it and went,
no, not vast majority.
No, the ones that 20%. Most of the comments.
Yeah, most of the comments, yes. But there's a lot of people who liked it. And also what actually happened was a lot of people showed interest. They wanted to go to a workshop, or they wanted to get more information. But I think I'm not sure if it was the ClickFunnels or whatever it is. I don't know. I don't quite understand the system, but effectively, a lot of people were channeled down this route, and they have to respond. Their responses were not, they were seen by me, but the ones where people were making comments were coming straight at me. So I felt a wave of negativity coming to me.
And a lot of people were like, which planet is this guy on? I mean, retirement's the best thing I ever did. A lot of these people were manual workers.
Yeah.
Who, you don't want to be, whether curbing or whatever, at 60 or whatever.
The lady who was running this operation was out of Toronto, and I said to her, the socioeconomic group that you're pitching me to is wrong. We're not getting the right people. She says, Facebook has stopped. We can't differentiate. I go, really?
No.
Anyway, that's history.
The reason I say that is we don't want to come to the table by saying, don't retire. Retirement is bad. Retirement is wrong. As an aggressive statement.
Yes.
What we want to come to the table is to say, so retirement, huh? Yes. Well, there's two ways to go. You can go the traditional route, put your slippers on, watch your TV, knit, eat, read, get grumpy, negative about everything. Or you can say, so third act, what's that look like? If you're happy to put your slippers on and, that's okay, but that's not who we are.
I think it's a little bit beyond that now. Let me explain why. I went aggressive, and I did what Susan would call the BP way. I kind of like went in like, here's the thing. I went in that, retirement is like cancer. And now people come back to me and go, you can't say that. You don't know what cancer is. I go, bullshit.
Actually, I do.
I do, but I didn't want to get into this negativity, this negative thing. You just have to accept this happens. Think you're a celebrity and you're going to get this shit, right? And you just have to deal with it. But actually, I made a mistake. Hands up, I made a mistake. I used the word cancer. I could have been softer. There's no need to go down that route. And you're absolutely right. But I think it's more than just two options. It's, well, I suppose initially it is two options. Have you planned for your retirement or have you not?
Yeah.
If you haven't planned for your retirement, have you any idea of what you're up against? You spend a lot of time going on holiday, you plan your holiday, and that's only for 2 weeks. Your retirement will last 25 years. And if you haven't planned, you have no idea the pitfalls and the minefield that you're stepping in. What we do is show you what's going to happen, what you're going to feel, and how you can turn that into something that's a winner for you.
Can I jump in there, George, a little bit?
Sure.
I'm curious. So what I like about some of the materials you put forward is that it's more of an invitation, like your quote from Carl Jung, one cannot live the afternoon of life according to the program of life's morning, right? So that invitation to explore and to plan for that, because your audience is going to be, have been successful people who have planned for their lives. Like they went to university, probably went to college, got their degree, been used to being in control, and now what? But if you share, okay, it's going to be bad if you don't plan. Like it really, that was your experience. And so I think if you shift some of the messaging to be where there's a part where you can share your experience, like this is why I know about this is why I care, versus telling people what they're going to feel, I think that's going to be a shift for you that will work better. I think than telling people it's going to be bad, it's going to be like a cancer, your wife's not going to want to hang out with you.
Yeah.
I know. God, there's a movie script. Okay. I get that. You're right. I think sharing experiences is probably the thing that will trigger. Yeah.
So do you see the distinction between your story versus telling, just because it's your experience doesn't mean it's going to be theirs.
Very much.
But inviting them to design their future experience with purpose.
Yes.
You're absolutely right.
If we're going to crown you today, it's not a bad idea to have a semi-controversial opinion or a strong stance on the topic. I wouldn't want
That was the idea.
Yeah, because to be polarizing, you'll attract the right people. It just maybe stay away from the cancer and we'll find that right landing place with you.
No, I think you're going to help me nuance these things, because I do come up with all these things, and some of them are crazy and they don't work clearly. But no, I get that, and I
just didn't want us to be too antagonistic in the way we initially address people, because obviously there was some kickback.
I totally get that, Jonathan. Yeah, I'm on board with that. Yeah, it's got to be nuanced. And something else that happened today with the Tilney meeting, the managing partner said to me, the days of hard sell are over. He said, even as a managing partner, I can't shove it down the throats of my financial advisors. We need to attract them to come to your talk. Mm-hmm. I go, I'm on. I totally get it. In fact, I only want to attract people. I don't want to sell them. And so you're absolutely right. I need to reverse these things backwards.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, and we can totally do that. Because I really want people to think, oh, that's interesting, rather than like, are you kidding me? So, and when I mean, we have a kitchen cabinet company, and the sales cycle of Elite Kitchens is 7 to 12 years.
Wow.
But we're in for the long game. I mean, he's been in business 28 years now, and he knows that the average 20-year-old home in this area called Walnut Grove are his ideal clients. And we're out there, and we have been out there for 6 years, creating a way of life by what it looks like to have an elite kitchen. And now people are coming in ready to buy without any sales conversion process, because we've built up this audience over 6 years. And he's number one for everything. And the website that we built is phenomenally educational. The social media, the Pinterest is there. So we're in the long game, but what we want to take people on a journey on to is, which again is why I mentioned your wife and your children, is what life could and should look like when you get it right. So like when you went to see Paul McKenna the other day, I mean, you were in your blue puffer jacket and sweater and stuff. I mean, to me, there's George right there on a weekend.
All right.
And those kind of pictures, I looked at the pictures when you were at JT Fox with like Michael Douglas and
oh, you saw that?
Oh my goodness! What's it?
Those photos. I can't use those photos. They look phony.
They do. What we need to do is get Paige to cut out the
JT
Fox stuff.
I have to say, he's Canadian, guys. I'm sorry, but oh my God.
Oh, no.
Well, you went to the wrong province, really. Like Toronto. Like, come on.
No.
Hey, Susan. Guess who he met when he was in Toronto, though? Your dear friend, Dr. Peter Fricker.
Oh, really?
He was there at the same event.
My dear friend.
Oh, in Toronto.
He tried to hit on.
This was something.
Oh, did he really, Susan? Oh.
I don't know. Like, really, I really don't know.
It's pretty
Who tried to hit on you?
I don't know. Jonathan's making that up, but I mean, he was called. It was weird. It was a bit
weird. Calling her. He'd heard it.
He never called me, and we had dinner together, so it must be something about you.
Ouch. Oh God.
No, he saw Susan speak on one of our shows, whatever we did, and suddenly he reached out to Susan, and then he keeps reaching out. And her and I are on a call, and went, Peter Fricker's calling me.
That was weird. I'm sure it was a butt dial. It could possibly be.
This guy's on his fourth marriage. I don't think so.
And me.
Anyway.
Dr. Peter?
I mean, my daughter walked in while I was looking at some of your stuff, Maddie, and she went, he interviewed Dr. Phil? Are you kidding me? Dad, your clients are awesome. So that kind of piece, and especially when I listened to it and you asked him about stuff in his life, and he went, no shit, am I telling you that? Sort of thing.
No, but you know his story about what that's the reason I connection. Can you hear me? Yeah. Yeah. I did some research on Dr. Phil, and I discovered that his wife's sister was driving along the highway in Texas somewhere, and somebody from the crossover above poured sulfuric acid. She was in a open top car, and she 70% burn her face and body. Yeah, I know. Wait for this. And so I thought that, he would have a different attitude to gratitude, right? And especially the work he does. And so I thought, I couldn't ask him that question. It was too raw for me to ask him in front of people. TV shows. He'd interviewed his sister-in-law, and I think after about a couple of years, she had forgiven the guy who'd done that to her. Yeah, I know. People don't understand this, but the reality is if she hadn't forgiven, she would have this hate in her, and it just ruins your life. So there is no other way but to let go. It's a hard thing, but not letting go is even worse. So she'd forgiven him, but guess who hadn't forgiven? Dr. Phil.
Oh.
Yeah. Probably thinking all the time his wife was absent looking after her sister, and because of that bastard, he's got to forgive him. I mean, what would make somebody do that? Maybe a prank? You just don't know, but crazy. So I wanted to ask him that question. And I don't know if you saw the interview. It was a 3-minute interview. And he said, hell no.
He did.
But then went back on himself and turned the question around that, yes, he was grateful about things and blah, blah.
But that is gold right there. And
but do you think that's gold or just the visual?
Both. Because nobody needs to know the JT Fox concept. It's unfortunate they had like the 2 hats sitting on the table, and it's like, oh, seriously?
Yeah.
I actually think, I hope that hat doesn't say Make America Great Again, but it was just red and blue, right? But, that was crass. I mean, I'd like to edit that out, but the interview itself, the positioning of you and him, phenomenal. And then some of the pictures, I mean, I know some of the faces because there was Ali McDowell and some incredible people. Some of the faces like, oh, I know that celebrity, but I don't know what their name is. But then with Mel Gibson
Yeah.
would be interesting.
Mel Gibson,
Wow.
did you see with his chest puffed out? Braveheart, here I come. The funny thing is that
Oh my gosh.
these guys were interviewed. J.T. Fox organized this, and he had about 40 people interview each of these stars.
Mm-hmm.
And we in the audience are watching this. Okay, so I went up and did Dr. Phil, as did 39 other people. But when you're watching these people, they're giving quotes, and I was listening. How can I use anything they say to spin it? Susan, notice I'm thinking like you, to spin it to my advantage. And I got some great quotes. Like, for example, Mel Gibson said, and I've got them down, I'll send them to you. But I don't know if we can use this. Mel Gibson said something about how, yeah, you say stuff, he used the word, you say some stuff in your life that you regret, obviously referring to his anti-Semitic rant. And he goes, but you know what? You own up to it, you make amends, and you move on. And you don't listen to all this talk. And I thought, what a wonderful way to explain gratitude for something bad that happened, and you turn it around, you own up, you make amends, and you move on. And each of them, even what's her name, the actress who played in, she was married to Agassi. What's her name? Brooke Shields.
Well, it was Brooke Shields, right? Yes.
She had a brilliant quote about Christ. But I don't know, can we use this material, do you think? I mean, do you think
I mean, if you could get rid of the J.T. Fox stuff at the back, or we blur it out or something, but yeah, definitely. I mean, we want to position you as somebody who's right up there. I mean, when I'm looking at these pictures, I'm like, wow, this is awesome. I understand the context of the event. I've heard about it. And Peter told me about it when he went there too. I think Christine Skalinsky was there too, right?
Probably, yes. Yes.
And you can say things like, you can put like as a journalist, you probably understand like the attribution piece of that. And maybe just talking about, I heard Mel Gibson say this at an event, or Mel Gibson was talking about this as an event, and don't quote him word for word, and tell people what you got out of it, right? Just kind of cautiously doing that, because it's not necessarily on record.
Well, actually, it is on record.
Well, then it's fine. Yeah.
You know, so
that's part of your position. That's part of the
also, see, I went there with the idea that I could use some of these photographs, but then I looked at them and I thought, oh my God, I'm just trying to see, you know, you talked about your mother or your friends looking at this and going, gee, what's George doing? You know, it's the stuff you see in Italian restaurants in the 60s, all the famous people up on the wall. It's like, do I want to be like that? Do I want to be pitching myself in that position?
Context, you can, I mean, how old is Michael Douglas now? Was it Kirk Douglas or Michael Douglas?
Michael.
Oh, he was
Kirk passed away, didn't he, recently?
Okay. I don't know.
Who was it in the picture? I should go through them and we should name.
It says Michael Douglas on it. I'm looking at it.
It is Michael. Okay.
Yeah, he's white now, so it's hard to tell.
But did you notice Michael Douglas turning his back on J.T. Fox to be closer to me?
I did.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Did you not notice that?
Yeah,
oh, that was a brilliant move.
But you can literally talk about it and use this picture in a social media post or a blog and just say, let's just look at some of the famous actors and what they're doing with their lives. When I spoke with Michael Douglas and we talked about, or when I met with Dr. Phil, you know, in an environment that I paid for to be there, then they can see that you're willing to invest in training, so they're willing to invest in you as training. But you can totally take those in context. I mean, Mel Gibson funded the Passion of the Christ, right?
Yeah, I don't want to misrepresent it, if you know what I'm saying. Because it comes down to credibility and trust, and if you lose that, you've lost everything. That's why I think up to now I haven't used it, because I just I think the cost could be very high for the wrong reason.
Well, it's going to be part of our arsenal.
We can explore that. There's no time limits on this. And it's also, you could use one of these every couple of months. So it's not like you want to do it back to back. Okay, sorry. Moving on. Your agenda. You carry on. Sorry.
No. It's just, I'm just bringing all the elements of what we have on the table today. So that the thankfulness, the persistence piece, the position of who you are in the world and who you know, all comes into the persona of why people would want to hire you. And that was a summary of where I was wanting to go with that piece. I mean, with your website, I mean, the way they had the video of you with the book signing and you signing and you interviewing Dr. Phil, I mean, I think that's really, really very, very good.
I have a question?
Yes.
Do you have material that talks about the after results, after people have worked with you, what they can experience, what they can expect to experience?
I knew you'd ask that. Yes. However, I'm actually in the early stages of my new career, if you like. And I have one guy who's an American. He's 77. He's based out of St. Louis. And he's actually done a video as well as a written thing. And on my website, his name is John Rick. He's written a little blurb at the bottom. I have a video testimonial from him, but he is one of my 3 clients that I have so far. So I'm really early stage. The other 2, one's a doctor and one's a nutritionist, but they're in their sort of late 40s, and they were clients on the Bob Proctor program, the Thinking into Results program. So, and they're not really my client avatar now. So I don't know if I want to go back to them. I'd much rather move forward with the Tilney people and see where it goes. So as you can see, all this stuff is past material, but I'm building on something new. I'm not looking to conquer the world. I'm not looking to have 100-man employees. I just want to develop a niche market in, I suppose, people who are retiring, and make myself a little expert in that area, and have a sort of presence in the English-speaking world. And that's why I named what the security agency is called Five Eyes. That's USA, Canada, UK, New Zealand, Australia. They're called Five Eyes because they share information. And obviously, because they're English speaking, they're easily accessible. And if it's online, they can download the material, and most will pay in dollars. And I suppose a lot of the material I want to generate will be online. So it'll be webinars and short pieces. And then, for example, the 7 Steps to Mastery can be a program. Program 7 steps, as it were. So it'll be 7 videos. Sorry, Susan, you want to say something?
I was going to say, so are you designing a business that you can fulfill on yourself? Or is the vision to grow bigger? Or is your goal to fill your time with your business?
That's a really, really good question. I've been struggling with the answer to that. I'm 64. I don't have plans to conquer the world. So I'm not looking to grow mine exponentially to sell and then retire. I'm there, I think the great analogy which I was trying to use with Jonathan yesterday was, what was that? My watch is ended. I'm on. It's like, you know.
Oh, you're frozen.
Killed you. You're only supposed to serve until you die. And then I'm into my afterlife now. I'm into this afternoon of my life. I know. Susan, you're going to love this. And I'm actually looking to have fun and help people and make some money at the same time.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And
Okay.
make it while I'm asleep.
So that's helpful because I think there's a lot of interesting opportunities for you. Once you get even just this one client potentially in the door, you could fill your business with just.
Yeah, I know. Well, after that point, if it, you know, if I get to the point where I've got a lot of business and I can't do it myself, this is where actually doing online business, where my webinars are there. It's a package. You know, you buy the 7 steps, X amount, and then I produce new stuff, and it just rolls on, and people can buy it in any of the English-speaking countries or otherwise. And so they don't need to have me physically there. And then I can deal with individuals. And like Jonathan and you folks, I can choose who I want to work with. People whose energies resonate with me. I don't want energy vampires. I don't want horrible people to work with because I want to make some money out of them. I want to work with people I'm going to have fun with. My time is precious.
Have you thought about doing like cruises and things like that with people, like as a speaker, with people who are on trips on holidays? Like they might be at a conference. Like I'm thinking physicians, and so they're famous for that. Although unfortunately, my husband hasn't subscribed to this. Where you go on these boondoggles, right? And you're going on some kind of medical cruise, and you have a couple of speakers who are supposed to teach you something, and the rest of the time you're on holidays. But what a lot of these people do, I am confident, when they go on these things, is they're thinking about, won't it be nice when I retire and I can just cruise whenever I want? And so capturing people when they're in that frame of mind where they're thinking about retirement because they're not at work currently, that could be an interesting market for you too, to tap into that.
Yeah, interesting.
For trips.
When people are already in the mentality that they never want this to end, and then they have to go back to work and they hate work. And
yeah. Like how can I make it happen?
That's an interesting. What kind of age group are you talking about here?
I would say, so from my experience, doctors work themselves to the bone. And once they hit 40, they're already wanting to start talking about retirement. Like I think over 40.
Yeah.
Well, that is interesting. I'm wondering, do I have to go on the cruise?
I just threw that one out there.
It's a really good question, because how do you want to fill your time? Do you want to be the speaker who's getting leads-based speaking? Do you want to be the writer? Do you, like, if you really design even this marketing from the ground up, do you want to be podcasting? What is it that would it be enjoyable?
Yeah. No, I think you're absolutely right. And okay, let's take a step back. There's a lot of things we can do, cruise ships included. Yes. Okay. Let's park that for a minute. What is it that I really want to do? My desire sometimes outstrips my physical ability to do it. I don't have the strength I had when I was in my 40s. But I'm always gagging for more, and I have to say to myself, no, stop. There's no need to push yourself, to kill yourself. You know, you're going to die soon enough. Don't push it. So what I want to do, I want to enjoy the time I have in doing what I love to do. And so anything that has webinars, podcasts, and you're going to have to show me how to do podcasts, because I don't know how to do podcasts.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, that would be great, because I can do it in the comfort of my home and wherever I am, and I can release that. Going on speaking, I love speaking. I love speaking, so yeah, I enjoy it. I went on I was invited to St. Louis to help a school for children with learning difficulties.
Mm.
And it was my friend John Rick, my client, my one retired client. And he sort of spoke to the headmaster who's having trouble internally. All the staff, 30 teachers, were disillusioned, disappointed. And John Rick turned around to the headmistress and said, "You need to have George fly in from London to fix you guys. He'll fix you in no time." So, and he's a friend. He won't charge you much. Just pay for his expenses to come and home. So they paid me $800, and they paid for my flight and hotel. And I flew in. Took me a whole day to fly out there via Chicago layover. I got into St. Louis, and here's the bizarre thing. The Spirit of Gratitude, my book, was actually, the name was taken because of the Spirit of St. Louis. It's that transatlantic, non-stop transatlantic flight. And I'm trying to tell people they need to make a flight across the ocean of their minds. There's a story to this. I won't bore you with now. So I flew in, I did my presentation for one day, and I flew back the next day. So it was a 3-day affair. And I was into my presentation with 30 teachers, and all of them really lovely people, but kind of a bit put down because there was so much treachery and skullduggery going on between the schools, trying to take them over. And so I gave them the mindset thing. And by lunchtime, we were supposed to take 2 breaks between 8 a.m. in the morning, which is when this started, and 12, right? Everybody forgot, including myself. We just went right through from 8 to 12, and they were completely engaged, as was I, and we forgot about coffees and teas and everything, and breaks.
Oh, I would never have forgotten that.
And the headmistress came up to me at 12 o'clock, and she said, "This is beyond my wildest expectations." And I thought, oh my God, I would have done it just for that.
You need a testimonial from them.
So there's a blog post.
Yeah, that needs to be told.
Do you have pictures? Do you have pictures of you there?
Do you know, I'm absolutely bloody useless at this. I've got to get smart about this. Do I have pictures? I must.
You should get one of your creative children following you with their artistic skills.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? You can tell your kids what to do? Ah.
Yeah, Jonathan's tried this too with his kids. They don't follow him.
Daddy is cool, but from a distance. Don't get too close to my friends.
So George, have you created avatars of your ideal clients and what their typical experience is and what their anticipated after experience might be?
I have, but it's probably it's actually on my wall.
Jonathan's really good at that.
Jonathan is good at that.
Yeah, well, we all are, but Jonathan's really good. I'm just pulling him into the conversation.
Okay, well, John, I'm going to have to work with you. I have psychographics and demographics kind of played out, but probably a little shallow at the moment. So to dig down deeper, I'd probably have to work with Jonathan on that. So Jonathan, knock that down.
We've had a couple of people who are life coaches or similar go out to groups of lawyers, for example, and speak. I think Susan's spoken to lawyers too, but other ones as well. This model that you're looking at with the financial planners, it can extend. You could package it up and bring it to teachers in general. My parents are teachers, and they were so disillusioned and couldn't wait for retirement, and I'm sure that's normal. And to doctors and to like every profession. And when you take it to associations or boards, then you have this huge leverage. So if we package this up, it could be really on its own, this amazing product.
I think you're right, Lindsay, on all of them, with the exception of lawyers.
Okay.
I have tried lawyers.
Okay.
Oh, the most difficult. Shakespeare was right. You have to kill them first if you want to change them. You can't. They are the most, I think it's just their training.
Okay.
They have to second guess everything. So you can't even break down the first barrier. And everything, they're so risk averse. Everything's about protecting my client. It's all protect. They're business killers, really, in every way, sadly. And that includes my own lawyer. You know, he's just unbelievable. But anyway, but you're right, teachers and other professionals, I agree completely.
But let's just go back to the one that we already have in the bag. I mean,
Yes.
first of all, you were asked to go. They were burnt out teachers. They saw you as the international expert. They paid for your expenses to go to the United States. There was a whole meant to be because of the tie-in with the St. Louis and the Spirit of and the original plane and what you called your book. So you can tie that piece in as well.
You think that's a story in itself?
Hopefully you have it there. Maybe did Rick, was he there? Did he take a picture while you were teaching or?
Oh yeah, there's actually I've sent you a video. This is my daughter, the the singer-songwriter who edited a full 5-hour video into 1 hour. And the St. Louis one, you know, there's a blackboard and the Spirit of Gratitude on a thing. That a 1 hour video, which I believe I uploaded on Dropbox.
Okay.
That's the one that I did. That's the one I did for the St. Louis school.
Okay, I don't think we got that one on YouTube yet, so I'll go through it.
If you don't have it, let me know, and I will send that to you.
I'll check. But that's a blog post right there, positioning who you are, along with some of these celebrities. The story of
I need help on this because
that's fine. That's what we're here.
I'm picking stuff up that it's there, but I can't.
You're in it. You're too close.
Yeah, I'm too close. I can't. Doctor, was it Doctor Don't Cure Yourself or something? Anyway, yeah, I can't do it. Carpenter's door's always broken.
Yeah. There is one picture I definitely do not want to use.
Yeah.
Is Trump's numbers guy. What was his name? Oh, George. George somebody, right?
George Ross.
Yes. I don't want to use that picture.
How do you know about him?
Well, we had a celebrity apprentice here, and George and Ivanka and Trump did the thing themselves.
I forgot about that.
And she spoke about the marketing piece, he spoke about the business piece, and the other guy spoke about the numbers piece. So they were semi-celebrity famous here for a while. But yeah, no, don't want to use that one.
Okay, fine.
Yeah, well, there's lots of material. So I'm just looking at the clock. It's 10:59. Should we take a 5-minute?
Yes, I think it's a good idea.
And then come back?
Absolutely.
And I'll stop the recording and then we'll have it in segments. Be easier to follow.
Okay.
Yeah. Give us 5 minutes. Is that good?
Yep. Done.
Okay.
Thanks.
Perfect.